What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another My League rebuild here on NBA 2K21 at Next Gen. Today, just going to be doing an Orlando Magic rebuild. Obviously, as you know, they did trade away Nikola Vucevic and Evan Fournier at the trade deadline, two of their better players, Vucevic obviously being their best. I got a couple comments saying, can you just, do a kind of a new look Magic rebuild, stuff like that, see if you can get them a championship in 3 years. So, yeah, this isn't like the Nuggets one we just did, where we kind of just walked into a championship pretty easily. That kind of core foundation was already set there. This is completely different. Looks like this Magic team is ready to go full rebuild mode. Obviously, Vucevic was a core key franchise piece for them for a lot of years, but they did decide to move on from him. Now a Chicago Bull. Evan Fournier is now a Boston Celtic. I did the Vucevic Bulls rebuild. I have not done a Fournier Celtics rebuild. I like the addition of Evan Fournier to the Celtics. I don't know if he, Also, I just forgot to mention Aaron Gordon. That's my bad. I just don't know if Evan Fournier requires an entire rebuild by himself. So, yeah, we're going to be doing this rebuild today. I'm excited to use Jonathan Isaac. He tends to win Defensive Player of the Year award quite a bit in these videos. Wendell Carter Jr., obviously one of the new additions from the Chicago Bulls. I'm going to hopefully try to build around him a decent amount as well. Otto Porter Jr., since we don't start today, the trade deadline has not passed, so we're going to probably be trading him along with a lot of these other guys. But Michael Carter-Williams will be gone before the year even starts. I'm surprised they didn't trade Terrence Ross at the deadline in real life. That did surprise me. As I mentioned, Porter Jr. is probably gone. I would like a starting power forward. Chuma Ukiki was their 16th overall pick in the 2019 draft. Could start him for your number one. Is only 6'6". You'd think you might want somebody a little bit taller at that power forward spot. And then, honestly, a little bit of a logjam. I was surprised that, obviously I wasn't surprised that they got Wendell Carter Jr. in that deal. I think he was going to probably be the main piece no matter what. I'm surprised they haven't really done anything with Mo Bamba. I'm not going to lie. I don't watch a ton of Magic games. If I have any Magic fans or anybody who religiously watches the Magic, is he just not good, or just what's the deal with him? Are they just not using him, or I don't know? What was he? Yeah, 6th overall pick in 2018. Feels like it comes to a point where you got to kind of make a decision at some point. But before we get into this one, if you guys are new around here, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 30K. Everyone does help. I'm gonna try to get more videos out. As I promised in the last video, you guys should be seeing this on Wednesday. Nuggets rebuild was on Monday, and then maybe one more this week. Probably not, though. I'd say probably 2 next week as well. So, as always, feel free to comment other video ideas down below. And yeah, let's see if we can hit 150 likes in this video. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the first trade. So a pretty big first trade here. Otto Porter and James Ennis going to be heading to Minnesota. Malik Beasley, Ricky Rubio going to be coming back here to Orlando. I think without being said that we are going to probably be starting Malik Beasley at that shooting guard spot. Only 24 years of age, under a pretty nice contract. Obviously playing pretty well for the Minnesota Timberwolves in real life as well this year. I do want to develop RJ Hampton. I think he was a pretty nice addition they ended up getting in the draft. Or not the draft, excuse me, in the trade for Aaron Gordon. Sometimes I go way too fast and I just can't speak. So I also don't really know why Gary Harris was one of the main focal points in the Aaron Gordon trade. That was an interesting one to me. I don't really think Gary Harris is very good, if I'm being honest with you. But it's just my opinion. Maybe, only 26 years old. Maybe they think he can bounce back in, starting minutes or whatever. But, yeah, Terrence Ross will be gone. He is on a multi-year deal, so I don't have to trade him. But now trading for Beasley, there's a little bit more of a logjam here. So I think I'm probably going to roll. Also, okay, Harris is on a 2-year deal. I thought he was on a 1-year deal. I was going to say he could probably just play for a year and then let him go. But we'll make that decision when the time does come, because I do want to get Hampton some minutes. This isn't the old 2K where you can just send him to the G League. He'll jump up 4 or 5 overalls and be a really good bench piece for the rest of the video. So that is another decision I will have to make. The starting small forward spot is all set for Jonathan Isaac. That was not really going to be a debate. I still got to make a move on Ukiki or not. I'm actually surprised. I almost pulled the trigger on Kevin Love. He just really didn't fit the timeline too well of this team. It literally was Otto Porter and a 2nd-round pick straight up for Kevin Love. So wouldn't have been a bad deal whatsoever. I think Kahem Birch is probably going to be another guy that I do look to move on from, just because I think Mo Bamba could be a solid backup for us. So we are now going to make a couple more trades. So maybe another somewhat surprising deal for you guys. We're going to be sending Ricky Rubio, Terrence Ross, and Kahem Birch, whatever, to Cleveland for Larry Nance Jr. and Taurean Prince. Now, I'm doing this, one, because I think Larry Nance Jr. actually could be solid for us moving forward. Eventually, I'd obviously like him to be coming off the bench for us. But number 2 is I really don't have another big deal. If you put all these guys' money together, you really don't get a good enough player that you can trade for a max player. And obviously, I don't really want anybody super good right now. I'm trying to get a really good pick in this upcoming draft. And the other trade was Victor Oladipo, and I don't see a reason to technically, I guess, bring him back to Orlando after, we did just trade for Malik Beasley. So Larry Nance Jr., Taurean Prince going to be coming here to Orlando. Obviously, Larry Nance Jr. will be starting at that power forward spot for us. I still do have to move on from Michael Carter-Williams. Fultz and Anthony are probably going to be the main 2 point guards today in this video. I'm going to make a decision about Harris. I think if not, I'm probably just going to let him ride the bench, and I'll trade him this offseason if I can't find a trade for him. Again, he's almost making $20 million. That's not something you can just snap your fingers and trade. I would like a better backup small forward. This is definitely going to be a 10-man rotation team. Taurean Prince could be on his way out as well. If not, Okiki's just going to get those minutes. So I think we are in a pretty good position right now. I also failed to mention that we did get 2 first-round picks from the Bulls in that Vucevic trade. So those also could hopefully maybe come in hand at some point. So we will see, but we're definitely not done with trades yet, and I'll see you guys with the next move. So pretty perfect deal right here with the Miami Heat. Michael Carter-Williams, Dwayne Bacon heading to Miami. We're going to pick up Trevor Ariza in a first-round pick. This is perfect for 2 reasons. One, we get a little bit of a better backup small forward. We also get a little bit of a veteran piece on the bench in Trevor Ariza. We also acquire a first-round pick, and Ariza's contract is up after this year, so I really don't have to worry about him taking up too much cap space. I think this is a pretty big win-win for us both ways. Now, if this was a realistic rebuild, a real life, whatever the situation may be, I don't think that would have been the worst deal in the world. I just think Ariza would probably get traded around the deadline in this, but obviously this is not a realistic rebuild. Just saying if in that aspect, because I know I'm going to probably have a couple people questioning me in that aspect. So I'm pretty comfortable with this team right now. I definitely didn't think I'd be getting a 2-for-1 there. I think Larry Nance Jr., I don't know if I'm going to be able to get anything for Taurean Prince that's really that worthwhile. Same goes with Gary Smith Jr. Gary Smith Jr. So if I can get a pick for one of them, again, neither of them are probably going to be playing. I will obviously go ahead and take it. I don't really see anything here. Chris Silva, only 24 years old. Honestly, why not? Nah, never mind. No, I'm not going to do that. Brother. All right, nothing there for Taurean Prince. Again, I'm sure it's going to be the same thing for Gary Harris. If I'm going to take anything, it's just going to be a first-round pick. I'm definitely not giving up any picks in any sort of deal here. No, there's nothing. So I'm now going to go ahead and set the rotation. All the trades are complete, and I'll see you guys with the rotation before we do start simming year number 1. So I'm actually pretty excited about how this team is looking for year number 1. I kind of got in a good spot where, again, I didn't really acquire too many picks. I think I got 1 first-round pick total with all the trades I made. Obviously, we got, the ones from the Bulls and the Vucevic trade, but that was already put through. And other than that, I didn't really lose any valuable assets. I think that was another really key piece about this team. I think we're obviously not going to be very good in year number 1. I wasn't trying to compete in year number 1. I think that was, a pretty obvious game plan going into this. This team was definitely not going to be, in any position to actually make a run at a championship title. So I'm very happy with how the starting 5 is looking. It's going to look like this. Markelle Fultz, Malik Beasley, a huge addition for us right here from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Could potentially be my starter at that shooting guard spot if he does play well. The entire video, nothing set in stone, though. Jonathan Isaac, I think, is obviously probably our best player right now. Defensive side of the ball, he's absolutely unbelievable. Hopefully, work on that offensive side a little bit as well. I think he could be really good for us. Probably going to be my starting small forward this entire video. Larry Nance Jr. was a new addition. I think he could be super solid for this team. And then Wendell Carter Jr. obviously came over from that trade with the Chicago Bulls. So bench unit's actually pretty good as well. It's a little bit young, besides Trevor Ariza, but it's looking like this. Cole Anthony, Mo Bamba, Trevor Ariza, as I just mentioned, RJ Hampton, and Chuma Okeke. So as I mentioned, pretty young unit. I think everybody on here is probably going to be developing, again, except for Ariza. And yeah, I don't think this team's going to be in the playoffs. I don't really think that's a surprise to anybody, but I'm excited about the future. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 1. So year number 1 comes to a close here. LeBron James does win the MVP award, 28.5 points, 8 boards, almost 11 assists. Goddamn, man. 36 years of age. It does not stop. We are a 14 seed here in the Eastern Conference, number 28 in the power rankings. Again, hopefully for a very good pick in this upcoming lottery. LaMelo Ball, Rookie of the Year for the Charlotte Hornets. I know I've said it a couple times every time LaMelo wins Rookie of the Year. I want to do a Hornets rebuild soon. I really think using LaMelo Ball would be super fun. So Spencer Dinwiddie, 6th Man of the Year for the Brooklyn Nets. Giannis wins Defensive Player of the Year. Christian Wood, Most Improved. Frank Vogel, Coach of the Year. Lakers go 62-20 and are a 1 seed in the West. So we're not in the playoffs. We don't have to worry about that. We will check out some player stats real quick. Malik Beasley actually led us in scoring. So again, huge addition from Minnesota that we were just able to grab him up, pretty easily, honestly. Markelle Fultz, not a bad season. Hopefully, former number 1 overall pick and getting back on track in his new home. 17.5 points, 2.5 boards, 6.5 assists. Puts up those numbers. I don't really have a reason to replace him. Cole Anthony was actually great off the bench. Wow. He was our 6th man. He was our 3rd leading scorer. That's pretty crazy to see. I mean, again, Wendell Carter Jr. and Jonathan Isaac, I'm not really expecting 20-plus a game from them, but, same with Larry Nance. But you know what I mean. Mo Bamba, RJ Hampton, Chuma Okeke, Trevor Ariza. Rebounds per game did go to Wendell Carter Jr., almost 9, and assist was Fultz with 6.5. So we're going to go ahead and simulate these playoffs. Thank God that it goes so much faster here in next gen than it did in, a previous gen. Milwaukee does go on to, I believe, sweep Denver. Giannis Antetokounmpo does get a ring. Loyalty pays off. He sweeps the Denver Nuggets, the rest of him, and the Bucks. So we're going to head up to the league meetings right now. I decline all of these pretty much all the time. I don't really see a reason to put any of these through. I feel like there's probably a way to turn it off in a pre-setting. But the pre-settings, if I'm being honest, kind of confused me at this point just because, old 2Ks, it was so much simpler. Now it's a little bit harder. I don't say this a lot, but we definitely are projected a good pick here in the lottery. We are currently projected pick number 4. Let's go ahead and skip, see what we end up with. I know I've seen some comments saying if you sit through, it'll actually, give you better odds. 1, I just don't believe that. 2, I just don't want to sit here for 2 minutes. So we actually end up with a number 2 overall pick. That is going to be huge for us moving forward. I'm going to have to make a decision on who I do want to draft with that second overall pick, because I think there are some obvious pretty good prospects. I'm going to give Steve Clifford one more year. Again, I didn't really give him a ton to work with. Jaden Paul, yeah, you're both fired. I can't have a D rating in either spot. We could also use an A trainer and Randy Martin. We're not exactly a huge market team. We're not a tiny market either. Trent Peterson wants to come in here. And then hopefully just Otis Newman as my other assistant coach. Those would be all huge additions. Since we can't get Peterson, let me do this, and let me guess. I can get Trent Peterson, and I'll actually even sign a CFO if you really want. And we do save a little bit of money just in case Steve Clifford does have to move on somewhere else next season. So, not a whole new staff, but a bunch of new guys coming in the staff department. We do have the number 2 overall pick, which is obviously going to be huge for us. Oh, I thought that was number 4 overall as well. I was like, no way. We're just going to send that to Philadelphia, 2 future seconds. That's perfectly fine by me. It's actually the exact thing they got for Evan Fournier, which, again, still feels like a little bit of a robbery, if I'm being honest. Not that I am in any position to give Danny Ainge any props, but 2 second-round picks, I feel like you could have done better for Fournier. So, at this point in time, I do have to make a decision on what I do want to go ahead and do with this number 2 overall pick. Obviously, there's some guys here that I definitely could look for. Cade Cunningham, Jonathan Kuminga, probably my 1-2 in this draft so far. I don't really want to replace Fultz. I also have Cole Anthony, who was just really good. I think Cunningham probably will go 1 anyways. Kuminga, I could theoretically slide Jonathan Isaac up to that power forward spot, slide Kuminga into that small forward spot. That could be a debate. Or I could go with Jalen Green, who I think is going to be really good as well. So that's going to have to be a big debate. I'm probably going to have to make a pretty tough decision on that front. If I move Jonathan Isaac to power forward, what is his overall? He goes down to an 82. It's not that bad. Let's just see first who goes number 1 overall. So we're going to skip to our pick here. I could cut out, but I'm not going to cut out. So who went number 1 overall? So it was Cade Cunningham. That makes sense. That's what I was expecting. Cleveland ends up taking him, so it looks like the Sexland backcourt is going to be broken up. So I just don't know. Do I want Kuminga or do I want Jalen Green? It's definitely one of these two. If there was a really good power forward here, I would probably take him. It's just Scotty Barnes looks like he's the best technical power forward available. I think I'm going to go with Kuminga. I'm going to slide Jonathan Isaac up to that power forward spot. I think that's probably the better decision here. I know Kuminga just develops like a beast in this game. I do want to do a rebuild soon where I do go ahead and take Jalen Suggs, but I don't think today's going to be that video, unfortunately. Qualifying offers, we do not have any. So yeah, I am going to lose 2 overalls if I move him to power forward. It's not that big of a deal. I'm actually still pretty comfortable with it. So we take a look at this roster right now. The bare bones roster heading into free agency. We're still a pretty complete team. Malik Beasley, again, just had a great year for us. I don't really see a reason for us to move on from him at this point in time. I think Gary Harris will definitely be getting traded. Maybe could have moved him for, a pick in this past draft, but you live and you learn. So Harris will definitely be off this team. Kuminga is obviously now our starting small forward. Isaac's going to remain here. So Larry Nance Jr. will probably remain behind Jonathan Isaac. I think he's on a pretty team-friendly deal. Chimu Okeke could stay here, but it is what it is. Also, maybe could have traded Tree and Prince, but that's, again, you live and you learn. So I do have a couple trades to make before we head into free agency. I don't really think we have any free agents whatsoever. Yeah, I don't really think we do. We obviously really don't have any cap space either, so that's a little bit tough. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make these trades. I'll see you guys in this first move. So our first trade of the offseason so far is going to be coming with the LA Clippers. Chuma Okeke and Gary Harris heading over to LA. We're going to pick up Luke Kennard in an unprotected first-round pick. Now, you might be asking, you already have a backup shooting guard. What are you doing? Luke Kennard is going to be moved to the backup small forward spot. He is going to be backing up our new addition here of Jonathan Kuminga. Yes, he's 1 overall higher. Obviously, I still will be starting Kuminga. So I think at this point in time, this team technically is all set. I think we're still a very young team. We still have a lot of development to do. I do not expect this team to be winning a championship this next season, but I do think we should probably be in the playoff hunt. I think we're going to have a really good bench unit going forward as well. With Cole Anthony, RJ Hampton, Luke Kennard, Larry Nance Jr., Mo Bamba. It's a really solid bench unit right there. So I think I'm just going to try to get a first-round pick for Taurean Prince at this point in time. I do have 3 on that potentials as well, which are hopefully going to come in pretty big for me. Taurean Prince, $13 million. I just don't need him on this team. If I can get a pick, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Memphis wants to give me one. Absolutely perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and honestly not even sign anybody in free agency. Well, the game will obviously sign some, veteran pieces on the bench for him, but they just won't be playing. So we're going to go ahead and go to training camps. I'll see you guys at the rotation at the start of next year. So the starting 5 is looking relatively similar to last year. Obviously, just 1 new addition in here of Jonathan Kuminga, but this team is yet very young. We are very much still developing, and I'm very happy with where this team is at right now. I think we could sneak into the playoffs, potentially 6-7 seeds, something like that. So we will see if obviously I make any moves at the deadline. I will show you guys those. But here's how it's going to look right now for year number 2. Markelle Fultz, Malik Beasley, Jonathan Kuminga, our 2nd overall pick. Jonathan Isaac slides up to that power forward spot. The guy's 6'10", or excuse me, 6'11". He can definitely play there, especially in today's NBA. And then Wendell Carter Jr. still locking down at that center spot. Is he a free agent this offseason? He is. So we're going to have to make a decision there. I think he might be the only one that's a free agent this offseason. Obviously not Kuminga. Yeah, so he's our only starter that is a free agent this offseason. I'm obviously going to resign him whether I keep him or not. Well, time will tell. But I'm very comfortable for now. The bench unit looking like this. Cole Anthony remains as our sixth man after being our third leading scorer as it last year. Mo Bamba is going to be getting 18 minutes a night, so basically a quarter and a half. You guys can see him developing. He is up to an 81 overall. Saying he's not a free agent this offseason, so if it doesn't work out with Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Bamba honestly could be my starting center, for the final year. But we're not getting there yet. Larry Nance Jr. remains on this team. He's not a free agent either. We got a lot of guys under contract, which is really something that I like to focus on a lot when we're getting into these teams that are not as good. When we're not doing the Denver Nuggets, we're not doing, teams like that kind of have the core foundation set. We really don't have to do too much with it. It's not as entertaining. I kind of like doing these rebuilds a little bit better. So if you guys want to give me some worse teams, I've been getting a couple Toronto Raptors comments as well. So I'd be happy to do any of those moving forward. But for now, this is how the team is going to be looking. We're going to be focusing right now on this team. Hopefully, I'll see you guys in the playoffs. To say I'm shocked would be an understatement. This team, I didn't see exactly how many games we won, but we ended up being a 1 seed. I thought we were going to be a 6 or a 7 seed. I guess maybe it's the depth that we have that, really contributed to it. I've seen that happen occasionally from time to time in these rebuilds, but a 1 seed I was definitely not expecting. We're number 1 in the power rankings as well. Those don't really matter. Joel Embiid was won the MVP award, 30 points, 15 boards, 3.5 assists. Cade Cunningham, Rookie of the Year for Cleveland, was their first overall pick. Precious Achiuwa, 6th man in Miami. Jonathan Isaac does get a Defensive Player of the Year for us. He's a stud for us. I love him. Chuma Okeke, our old friend. I know I also say this a lot. It feels like every time you trade a guy, he always wins Most Improved. It seems to happen. I don't know if anybody else can agree with that, but it does seem to happen. Steve Nash wins Coach of the Year. Looks like Brooklyn goes 55-27. Really? You can give it to Steve Clifford. They have the same record as us, and we literally had the second overall pick last year. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So before we do get into the playoffs, let's check out some stats real quick. Cole Anthony did lead us in scoring off the bench. That is pretty crazy. I mean, that's making me debate whether I should start him or Fultz. I know overall-wise it's saying it should be Fultz, but I mean, I guess that Markelle Fultz is probably the better all-around player right now. I don't know, though. I mean, Cole Anthony, and what is he getting? Like 22 minutes a night? How many minutes per night is he playing? Is that something I can check right here? He's playing 22 minutes a night, and he's averaging 18 points. Like, how do I not start him? What are his per 36 numbers? Not that I really care about those too much. I mean, those are some crazy per 36 minutes, or some per 36 numbers. That's going to be tough not to go with next year. I will say that, depending how these playoff goes, but he's looking really good for us right now. Rebounds per game went to Wendell Carter Jr., and assists was Markelle Fultz. Also, if somebody can let me know, I think I've asked this before, and I think somebody has told me before, has a 6th man ever led a team in scoring? I've definitely asked that before, and I know somebody's giving me an answer. I just forget what the answer was. That's pretty criminal right there. All right, New York Knicks here in the first round. TJ McConnell, Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, who has had a breakout year in real life this year, and they did add Clint Capella to their starting 5. Not a bad addition, if I do not say so myself. We go to 7 games with the Knicks, but we do end up winning, moving on to the Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, and my boy Penis Cantor right there. That's how the starting 5 looks for Charlotte. We are up. Wow, we win in 5. Moving on to Philly. Here comes a real challenge. Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, Kent Bazemore's in their starting 5. Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. Pretty good bench unit as well. Saw they brought Nerlens Noel back. And we win in 7 again. Moving on to Denver here in the NBA Finals. Jamal Murray, David Nwaba, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, our old friend, and Nikola Jokic. This duo right here it's absolutely insane to me how well it has worked. I mean, I think Aaron Gordon, I said it before, the trade deadline, he would have been the perfect fit in Denver. He has been the absolute perfect fit in Denver so far. So, finals time, and we sweep them. And Markelle Fultz saying, do not bench me. Give me the starting job. He wins finals MVP. All right. I thought this was going to be a 6 or a 7 seed, and we ended up going on to win a finals. So, what do I know? We're going to go ahead and just reject all these real quick. Abolish the luxury tax. We're not in the MLB. That's just, no. All right, draft lottery. I don't think we traded for any picks that would require us to be in the lottery. I don't really see anything. So, yeah, Pacers projected number 1. They end up with number 3. Atlanta jumps up to that number 1 spot. Staff signing. Steve Clifford just won us a championship. There is no reason to move on from him. I will try to sign my boy Owen Masters here, and our staff is entirely set. So we're heading up to the draft. I don't know if we have a later round pick in this draft. We do actually do. We have 2. We have 25 and 30, and then we actually have the first overall pick in round number 2 and pick 29 here. So I'm just going to trade all these picks. I don't really think I'm going to need any of them, and I'll see you guys in the next move. So I'm done trading away all those picks. I got 1 first-round pick in like 3 seconds, something like that. It was nothing monumental. Cole Anthony, RJ Hampton, both going to be coming back on those team player options. Very nice to see. Wendell Carter Jr., I said it before, is our only big free agent this offseason, which is absolutely huge for us. I mean, we don't really have to worry about it too much. Again, really don't have any money, which is unfortunate, but I'm honestly kind of fine with it. What I'm going to try to do is give Wendell Carter Jr. a real contract because Again, I know I just won a championship. It does kind of relieve the pressure off me, but I'd like to go back-to-back. And I think if I can maybe package him and include him in a trade for, a really good player, I think that could push this team over the edge. Not that it needs to happen, as we already did win a championship, but never hurts winning more than one. So I will wait for his moratorium is up before I do go ahead and sign him to a contract, but I'm really liking the way this team is looking right now. What did Kuminga do for us in his rookie season? I didn't really even check him out too much. 14.6 boards, 4 assists. Not a bad rookie campaign at all. Jonathan Isaac, again, is just a defensive stud. And then Mo Bamba, honestly, wasn't bad at all. I mean, you take it, not that I already mentioned it, not that I care a ton about per 36, but 15.5 and 15 is pretty solid. And, we take a look at Wendell Carter Jr.'s right here. Like, what were his? If we take a look at his per 36. I mean, that's kind of a toss-up for me, if I'm being honest. And again, one of them's making $10 million. The other's going to be asking for 30. So that's just my only thing moving forward. Again, I'm not just going to let Wendell Carter Jr. walk by any means, but I'm probably going to wait and then give him a little bit of a bigger contract. Because, overall-wise, yes, I'm probably getting a little bit worse. But numbers-wise, I'm really not getting that much worse, especially if I do go ahead and get a really good player on this team. So I'm going to consider making a trade. If not, I will see you guys, probably with the rotation. But you guys know me. I do like to change at least one thing from year to year. So I might make some sort of move. So I've now tried to trade for 3 different guys. Ben Simmons is my 4th option here, if I'm being honest. I still think he'd be a really good addition to this team. I think I can play him at either 3 different spots: point guard, small forward, or power forward. I don't really know where I'm going to end up playing him. If I do get him, it all kind of depends what else I do have to give up in this deal. I'd prefer it just to be first-round picks rather than giving up any sort of additional talent. Fortunately, I don't really know if that's going to be possible. If I can just do 5 first-round picks, wow, they agreed to that. All right, Ben Simmons is officially on this team. So he's obviously going to be our star moving forward. I mean, he's Ben Simmons. He's absolutely incredible. I think that was a smart deal, if I am being honest. So I could theoretically start Mo Bamba. It's what I'm probably going to do. I mean, if you take a look at his per 36, I know I keep saying it, and I'm sorry I keep saying it. I don't just rely on these numbers right here, but they are really solid numbers. And how many minutes per game was he playing? He was playing, 18 minutes a game. 7.5 and 7.5 is not that bad for that. So I think Mo Bamba will remain as our starting center. Now comes the decision, just what on earth am I going to go ahead and do with Ben Simmons? Where am I going to put him? I do like Fultz and Cole Anthony as the tandem at the point guard spot. So I think if anything, I'm going to probably move him to small forward. I just don't know. Maybe I could. Him and Isaac defensively would just be crazy. I don't want to just give up on Jonathan Kuminga, but also Ben Simmons isn't. I guess I could, just stick with the 10-man rotation. All right, I'll do that. I'm going to slide Ben Simmons, to the small forward spot where he goes up to a 94 overall, which is just nuts. Again, I could just go 9-man rotation. It has worked for me in the past. I think I'm going to stick with the 10-man. I know. I'm kind of upset that I did just draft Kuminga 2nd overall. I mean, he won a championship his rookie year, so I'm not that sad about it. But I think Kennard's now going to be traded for a backup center. So let me see what my options are. I signed nobody in this video, which is kind of crazy. Do I even have any first left? I actually do. I have 2 first-round picks. So Luke Kennard for some sort of backup center. Again, doesn't have to be anybody amazing. I just saw, Nerlens Noel, not really exactly who I was looking for. But he honestly might. Oh, Jakob Poeltl. Absolutely perfect. So this is a 10-man rotation. Ben Simmons, obviously a huge addition. I'm actually really excited I was able to keep Malik Beasley in this starting 5 as well. So this is the team. We're looking to go back-to-back. I'll see you guys at the rotation at the start of the 3rd and final year. Year number 3, the 3rd and final season. This rotation is all set, and it's looking very good in my opinion. Markelle Fultz, Malik Beasley, Ben Simmons, Jonathan Isaac, and Mo Bamba. Not the best shooting starting 5. I think Fultz hopefully can work on that jump shot a little bit. Obviously, Ben Simmons, can't hit water if he jumps off a boat. But you know what I'm saying. I think hopefully it will work out. At the end of the day, this is 2K. This is probably not a starting 5 I would ever go with in real life. But then again, Ben Simmons is a point guard. He's not even a small forward. So I'm very comfortable with this starting 5 right now. Bench unit looks like this. It's still unbelievable. Cole Anthony, Jonathan Kuminga, Jakob Poeltl, Larry Nance Jr., and RJ Hampton. Probably one of the better benches I've ever had. A little bit disappointed I didn't really get to capitalize on RJ Hampton's, talent. I didn't really develop him as much as I probably could. But I'm still comfortable with it. He's still playing 10 minutes a night. So hopefully going to get another championship. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 3. So we wrap up the 3rd and final season of this video. We were once again a 1 seed here in the Eastern Conference, number 1 in the power rankings as well. Trae Young is your MVP, almost 30 points a game, 3 boards, 12 assists. Really like how they switch up the MVPs every single year. I've seen, old 2Ks, guys used to win 3 in a single video, which again is not like it's not crazy to understand. Giannis went back-to-back. You know what I'm saying? It's not unheard of. I think it is a little bit unheard of, but you get my point. I like to see a little bit of variety. Paolo Banchero is your Rookie of the Year. Precious Achiuwa, 6th Man of the Year once again. Jonathan Isaac wins his 2nd straight Even Player of the Year award for us. Cade Cunningham, Most Improved. Looks like Cleveland made the right choice drafting him 1st overall. James Borrego, Coach of the Year. We cannot even get a Coach of the Year after we win 60 games. I mean, it's just they hate us. They hate us. So Markelle Fultz led us in scoring. Cole Anthony was still 2nd. Again, this is a fun tandem that maybe theoretically I could have played next to each other in a backcourt, but I'm kind of happy it worked out the way it did. Malik Beasley, Ben Simmons, Mo Bamba. I mean, Bamba's numbers probably aren't that much different from what, you know, Wendell Carter Jr.'s would have been, and we got Ben Simmons for Wendell Carter Jr. So I think it was a win all around in the trade department. Again, we got him a championship anyways, Wendell Carter Jr. being him. So I'm not really that mad about it. So first round here, we do have the New York Knicks once again. TJ McConnell, Keon Johnson, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Clint Capella. Very similar, if not the same, starting five as last year that they had when we faced them in the first round. We do end up sweeping them, moving on to Philly. Ben Simmons, old home. We got Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, Ignas Brazdeikis, Wendell Carter Jr., and Joel Embiid. Pretty scary front court for us right there. But we do go on and win in 6. Us in Charlotte here. Well, we're actually facing James fucking Harden signed in Charlotte. I mean, are you out of your tree? I mean, what in the world? Why would you sign in Charlotte, James Harden? Like, I just feel like there's a better chance of me being in the NBA than James Harden signing with Charlotte. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's really not something that would ever happen. Then again, these are not realistic at all. We do go on to beat them in 5 games. Quick gentleman sweep. Golden State Warriors back in the NBA Finals. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Eric Pascal. James Wiseman's developing nicely for them. I'm hoping I'm going to crush your dreams right here and go back-to-back. And we do. We win in 5. Ben Simmons gets a championship and does win Finals MVP. Dude averages a double-double. So, again, I took a little bit of a different approach than I do in most of these rebuilds. I didn't really... Oops, shit, just hit my phone. I didn't really sign anybody major, which I kind of like that aspect. Kind of like building this team. I mean, again, obviously I made the big trade for Ben Simmons in year number 3. But other than that, besides, you know, the Malik Beasley trade, I kind of built this team up from their core foundation that they had left after, you know, the Vucevic trade, the Aaron Gordon trade, the Evan Fournier trade. So I'm very happy with the way this all turned out. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, you know, kind of this little bit of a different way of me doing a rebuild. If you guys did, feel free to let me know down below in the comments section. If you guys did a like button as well, that would be absolutely awesome to me. So again, I'm trying to get as many videos out as possible. It's not always easy being at school, but this is a little bit of an easier week for me. So I was able to get a couple out this week. But again, once I'm home for the summer, you guys should have one every single day. And that's literally just about a month. So look forward to that. Feel free to leave any other video ideas down below in the comment section. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you guys all in the next one.